I'm going to call
This meeting is being recorded.
the meeting to order. In attendance is Selectman Phillips and myself, and Selectwoman Silversmith has been excused for a hopefully an enjoyable trip. And hear from the public. Going once, going twice. Moving on, first selectmen's briefing. Just a couple of quick things. Bear with me. In case I hadn't mentioned it, Roger, before, I know I mentioned it at the Board of Finance meeting on Thursday. My last discussion with our tax collector, Linda Gagnon, was that we had a total amount at the time, this was last week or so, to close out our fiscal year with $262,000 in unanticipated revenue generated from her office. So, as usual, a job well done by Linda and her due diligence there. The vandalism that occurred in South Cemetery, the state police came to visit me, the investigative officer, and they actually have located the perpetrators. It's a couple from Utah, an older couple. And we've turned it over to our insurance carrier to take whatever action they feel or deem necessary to do that. Apparently, this couple does this all over the country, thinking that they're doing it benefiting people who are looking for their family's gravestones. So the state troopers shared what our thoughts are about that. Well, we anticipate our losses to redo what they did. So
yeah, undo what they did.
Undo what they did. We will be talking about it in a few items on our agenda. We postponed our ARPA town meeting that was scheduled for this month, and we'll discuss that in a little while. We anticipate scheduling it for August 8th. The parade and the two open houses that we had on the 3rd of July, we had, between participants and viewers, we had over 200 people for the parade. A sizable number of our fire department participated in the open house on Saturday. We figured we had at least 30 visitors over there, which I thought was a success. And we had about, somewhere between 40 and 50 at the Public Works Department. That stopped over and took a look at equipment, had some questions about what we're doing and refurbishing. So I think all in all, that weekend turned out real well. And we'll be discussing it, doing it next year, and perhaps have a little more time to plan it and get more people involved. We've already had 2 organizations contact me that basically the Boy Scout camps and St. Philip's Church that would like to have floats in the parade and participate. So
Excellent.
I thought all in all, it went real well. We have got a confirmation that there's a small town in West Virginia. They were going to try to pick up the fire truck this past weekend. We're scheduling it for next weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. And we sold that vehicle for $12,500. So they'll be picking that up, and I wish them the best of luck on what they're doing. And that's all I have on our selectmen's briefing. Acceptance of the minutes of our regular meeting of June 20th, excuse me. Correction on that, it should have read July 6th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Any discuss? I'll second that motion. Any discussion, corrections, additions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And our special meeting of July 13th. I'll make a motion to that effect. This was our executive session.
I'll second that. The minutes be accepted.
No more comments or corrections. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Item 6, hear from the boards, commissions, committees, and departments. Going once, going twice, moving on. Number 7, old business, discuss reopening strategies. We are remaining status quo, and closely monitoring all the information that we're getting in, both from our local health department, plus from CDC. I don't know, Roger, if you noticed the report I sent you on Friday, there's been a slight uptick, but we remain in the best rating in the low categories. And hopefully we'll stay on that. They expected it was going to be a little more of an uptick because of the 4th of July weekend. Apparently that didn't materialize, which is good news. Item B, Ashford Advisory School Committee. Nothing to report from the committee other than we've got I guess we should probably call it a reorganizational meeting with the school and the committee. The acting superintendent will be sitting in, and I'll be in that meeting. We're scheduled for this coming Thursday. So by the next meeting, we should have updates. Item C, I think I just covered that COVID update. Moving on to item 8, new business. Discuss and/or act on setting a date for public hearing / special town meeting for the following purposes. 1, approval of the financing of several projects utilizing ARPA funding. Just to remind everybody, we anticipate there'll be an article in this month's Citizen along with a legal notice on the proposed special meeting, but explaining some of the things that we've already spent funding on and those that we are recommending to address additional funds to. Second on that will be approval of a Grant Road land exchange, which dates back probably 50 years now, that we're just trying to clean up some deed information we need for the Belanger family. And third, approval of the allocation of the amount of $100,000 in municipal match for the 2022 Small Town Economic Assistance Grant, STEEP as we call it, for Southward Drive reconstruction paving. I will entertain a motion for that, Roger.
So moved.
And do you have any questions on any of those items that we're discussing?
Just remind me, did we on our meeting of the 13th, did we vote to?
If I recall right, we recommended getting authorization from the
Okay.
Board of Finance
Okay.
to call a town meeting.
All right.
And they verified that I was at their Thursday night meeting.
Okay. All right.
And they supported that, and well, they authorized giving us authorization to call a town meeting on that. So that was taken care of.
Thanks.
So this is to schedule the town meeting for August 8th.
And we are looking to schedule that for August 8th. Have we done the time set up on that yet, Chris?
7 o'clock.
And unless there's further discussion on that, perhaps you could modify your motion to move discussion on that to include a public hearing.
Yeah.
Adjourning to a special town meeting for the purposes as listed
So moved.
for the 8th of August.
All right, 8th of August at 7 o'clock.
Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you very much. Item B, discuss and act on the Willington Termite Pest Control Service. Following a number of concerns that were expressed to me from some of our boards that use a couple of our buildings and a couple of other our buildings, in particular in Milton Hall. the old post office and that. I realized, Roger, that we had a contract with Orkin. And I can't find anybody in town hall ever remembers them coming to service that contract. So we asked that Willington Pest Service come in and give us estimates. And I believe you have it in the package.
Yep, I saw that.
Total cost, if I remember, correct me, Chris, if I'm wrong, is about $2,100 annually.
Yep,
Um,
Well, I did see that they were talking about doing it on Thursdays when nobody's in the town hall.
which is fine,
Absolutely.
but I do expect them, and
Oh, yeah.
we've expressed it, that we want to have acknowledgement verifying they've been here and what they've done.
Yeah, no,
Um,
we use them at our house.
So
They're very good. They're very reliable.
I will entertain a motion to authorize me to sign that contract with Willington.
So moved.
Any more discussion? Hearing that, I'll second that. Hearing no more discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
Bill, there was another thing that was in the packet and I don't see it added on the new business. We were talking about the
After-school program.
after-school program.
Why don't we finish our listing of new items, and then I would ask you to
Okay,
make a motion for discussion purposes of that item.
Right.
Discuss and act on acceptance of the Savage system. This has been going on. I did speak with Eric and expressed our board's discussion at our last meeting of if the school situation does not work out and their proposal up there, we would be interested in doing a 1 or 2 year contract and that having them making a presentation to us. He's asked me, he's going to be appearing at the next Board of Ed meeting to outline their proposal and give more in-depth clarification of what they include or don't include. Also address some of the rumors that have been going on up there. He already has had some conversations with the acting superintendent. So I would suggest we take no action until we hear how that goes.
Yeah.
So unless there's objection, Roger, we'll
And-
continue that on to our
And
next.
everything, the town hall is covered.
We will remain on a basically a month-to-month basis under the same terms
Okay,
and conditions as our previous year's contract,
excellent. Okay,
including the rate.
all right, that's fine.
All right. Item D, Board and Commission. I don't have any appointment recommendations. Tax refunds. Do we have any tax refunds, Chris?
yes, I have one. To Charlie Basil for $458.25, citing Connecticut General Statutes 12-129.
Move to accept.
We have a motion to accept. I'll second that. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Roger, I think this would be the appropriate thing to make a motion for discussion purposes.
Yeah, there was some paperwork that, that was included in my briefing that
Yeah.
talked about the after-school. What was the terminology?
After-school child care program.
After-school childcare program. Thank you.
I did have a couple of brief meetings with Sherry York. When this first came up, she was approached by, I forget, it was 10 or 15 different parents
Okay.
who had expressed an interest in that. Then I had a subsequent meeting last week with David Roskin, who we newly appointed as an alternate to the Board of Ed. He, in fact, did this narrative that I requested.
Okay.
And is doing some research. The Rec Commission did go to the Board of Ed's meeting last week, or the week before, forgive me, and expressed their interest in pursuing researching this.
Okay.
The board gave an acknowledgement that they're interested in considering it. I believe there was a copy of their minutes to that effect
Okay.
in your package. Frankly, Roger, I'm still researching it. I have asked them for some more information. I know they're talking about hiring 2 or 3 personnel to help cover this. They say that the program would be self-sufficient, other than perhaps some seed money up front for training in that. I'm looking into what our liability exposure is on that. and how that would play in line with what the school is proposing, which they're talking about using their facilities. So I think there's some diligence that we still have to do. I think concept, I know the rec committee is anxious to get going on it. The school seems to be receptive. I'm going to hold on making any recommendations or further until I get a little more information for us on it.
All right.
Any questions or anything? I know we laid a lot on you.
Yeah, no, it was good, there seemed to be a lot of good information, but you're right, we have other issues to.
For instance, if those two staff are going to be hired, are they going to be private contractors? Are they going to be on the town of Ashford's payroll? I think there's implications, and if that's the case, what are the insurance implications of that? And part of the breakdown that David gave us included those, but I want to get a little more clarification on that. I'm also going to put some feelers out to Mansfield and to Coventry, who have had these sort of programs, just to get some background on what the reception has been and how it's actually gone. So without exception, we'll carry that on to our next meeting and more discussion.
Okay.
Chris, anything to add to that?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, remarks for the good of the board. Enjoying summer, everybody, hopefully. And I think we've already discussed items that we'll have on for our next Board of Selectmen. If anything comes up in the interim, we'll certainly keep you posted. Having said that, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I will second that. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, Chris. Thank you very much. And I've got 7:18.